choke on our extensive amount of news coming up right here, right now. Greetings metalheads and welcome to romrom.net, the channel sharing the joy of sim racing, and to a regular news roundup. If you have any news for us, send us a mail to news@romrom.net. Thanks for watching, my name is Serta and I will be your host for this video. Much has changed on the graphics side of this sim, with preparations of lighting and other graphics being done, which will result in updates in the next months. Also, they've introduced a new flat desktop mirror mode for those of us using VR. We'll have to check how that works. The development at the moment is very much concentrated around the competition system, which looks similar to what iRacing and nowadays also Raceroom Racing Experience are doing, offering daily races. Further along in the future, they plan to introduce ratings, which at the moment will all be encapsulated in one rating that will have your skill and the safety included all in one. Another thing they want to introduce is a way to protest decisions made by the sim and to report any behavior you consider to have been wrong. Yet another thing they want to include is further forms of competition apart from the daily race, like hot laps and complete leagues. Very interesting, especially but not only for enduro racers, will be the addition of different roles within the racing teams, like race manager, race engineer, but also outside racing teams like steward, cameraman and race control. Which brings us to the broadcast integration as a feature that is already in the sim but will be expanded in the future. We had the opportunity to test the broadcast system in our Macau Mayhem broadcast and found it a very good and interesting system and most assuredly expandable. When the work above is ready, or at least good enough, Studio 397 wants to expand their championship system to offline racing for those of you who prefer to race the AI. Moving away from championship stuff, the team will stop any development on the old UI, the one that you see now, and will concentrate work on the new UI. I hope that means also hiring somebody to do usability testing and enhance the user experience, because at the moment it's lacking, severely lacking. And that doesn't even include the slow speed in which it reacts to user input. Parallel to what iRacing has done together with Dallara, Studio 397 has been working with DTM Le Mans 24 Hours and Daytona 24 Hours champion Mike Rockenfeller in developing a completely new electric racing car they are calling the RCCO EX0 2020, and which will be released as DLC sometime this month. As with the iRacing Dallara, while the car will be virtual, the specs abide to real-world physics and therefore the car will show as realistic as possible behavior. Late in the week, Sector 3 published the news their newest track on the sim is going to be Watkins Glen, coming in December. Still a couple of weeks left, and from the little they've given us, it seems it will sadly be in only one configuration of the many possible. This well-known and beloved track is one of the many jewels the USA have to offer, and it has a lot of history, which we won't retell here as anyone can go to Wikipedia and check it out. We're not sure if the Glen continues their expansion into US territory and into the iRacing business, but we're sure the iRacing people are following what Sector 3 is doing with Raceroom very closely. By the magic of some clever programmers from the crew chief team, we can now enjoy Automobilista 1 in VR with quite good results. While the mod is still in beta and the reports of it works or it doesn't pile up and the team is checking what went wrong, which often enough is in front and not inside of the computer, yours truly included. As you can see by the video we published yesterday, it does work quite well and expands the experience of racing in Automobilista 1 enormously, breathing new life to this beloved sim. If you want to test it yourself, you'll find the link to our review and some tips up there, and the direct link to the mod in the description below. What do you want first? No matter, you'll get both. The bad news is that the planned Iberia expansion for Euro Track Simulator 2 won't come this year anymore. Working from home has meant for the team some unexpected changes, and I suppose also less powerful hardware, at least for a while, and more difficult communication. Therefore, the team at SCS Software won't be able to make their self-set deadline for this year and move the release of the expansion to the first quarter of next year. Sad, but understandable. The good news, on the other hand, is that American Truck Simulator just got a new truck, the Freightliner Cascadia, free of cost. Well, free of real-life cost. If you want to own this truck, you will have to stop by a Freightliner shop in-game and buy it with in-game money. The in-game truck offers 14 engine choices, 13 transmissions, 12 chassis variants. It doesn't work that well, does it? Oh well. Added to that, you'll have 4 different cabin types, 4 interior trim options, and I quote, loads of other customization options, end quote. The truck has been built as near to the real Cascadia as possible, and we've been told even the interior looks like the real truck. A Christmas gift comes sooner, if you will, that shows the love the developers have for their software and all of us fans. And remember, this comes shortly after the release of the Western Star 49X, which was also for free. After some to and fro within the team and communicating with you, our fans, through the community tab, we'll start publishing our news also as YouTube shorts, but we'll not send out notifications for them, so you don't get plastered with notifications because of our shorts. Were not, the weekly news will stay by popular demand with notifications, and we expect we'll expand the news tidbits of the shorts into the weekly news, as there's only so much you can put inside of a minute. We're interested in the experiment and very much welcome your opinion of any kind. Write us a comment saying what you think about this. While we don't know if this is a sign of the market power of sim racing in general, or of iRacing specifically, and maybe it's a little bit of both, it's interesting that iRacing and Dallara have partnered to build and release the IR01, an open-wheeler that, while for now it's completely virtual, has to abide by the laws of physics and should be drivable in real life should it ever be built. Having started development in May of this year, the plan is to release the car this December, fine-tune it and make it ready for its own championship in late 2021, the goal being for it to be easy and fun to drive for a beginner, but difficult to master for anybody. It will simulate a lightweight car at only 600 kg with a naturally aspirated 3-liter V10 engine, limited electronics and a decoupled suspension. I gotta give it to iRacing. While their pricing model is still the worst, they continuously think about what to do that is the best of both worlds. Be it bringing a historic track back to life, be it building this car, these guys love racing and sim racing. Make a new affordable pricing model and I'm in! This is a strange one for 2 reasons. It's not like Rocket League is a new game, so why are we on Season 2? Rocket League connoisseurs may be able to help me here. Also, because the motto of the season will be music in different kinds of ways, which, while not mind-boggling, is still an interesting choice. Starting on December 9th, Rocket League players will be able to select the music played when they score a goal. Also, there is an EP published in the well-known streaming platforms with special music only available in Season 2. And the new Season's Pass will allow you to get music-themed items, and some of them will even pulse based on the music being played. Boy, would that drive me crazy while playing. I already pay way too much attention to the music of the games I play, sometimes forgetting what I was supposed to do. After taking a deep breath since releasing the 1.6, and the hotfixes, Razer will be continuing work on the championship mode and especially the custom championship, where you can create your own championships, which they hope will be able to present in a preliminary form already in their December update. Also, they will start pushing for better multiplayer and welcome the input from any league racers as to what they wish to be fixed first or which features they would like to see released the soonest. And unlike other sim developers, we know Razer listens to their fan base. Continuing in the same vein, they will also work on the multiplayer rating system, where they seem to want to continue the work based on the system Project Cars 2 had. Not sure I like the idea, but on the other hand, Project Cars 2 was a completely different beast than Automobilista 2, and Razer is Razer, so maybe they will end up giving us a more interesting rating system than Project Cars 2 had. You never know. With regards to content, they expect to deliver Spa in multiple historic versions before the end of this year. They expressly talk about the long version that was in place until the 1970s and about the 1991 version. Now, don't get overexcited. On December, they will only release the modern version, the historic versions coming at some point not too far after the initial release. Spa will be available as a separate DLC for those with the basic version of the sim. The historic versions will be part of the DLC and won't cost a penny extra. Something that I'm sure will be interesting to many, including me, I confess, is that they will be including the GT1 class in the next big update, starting with the Mercedes CLK and the Porsche 911 GT1 and expanding the class to other cars later. Forget Christmas, forget your family, forget any social gatherings you might have planned, be a good citizen and social distance yourself by playing Automobilista 2 these holidays. It seems we will have a lot of racing to do. For any ideas, news and streams for your racing, check the playlist to the left or the video to the right. Until next time, save fuel, collect pickup, and we'll see each other on the podium.
Visit romrom.net to connect to fellow sim racers and sim racing fans.